All right, how you guys doing? Welcome to another video. Something a little bit different this week. I'm not long back from a trip, 5-week trip, where my partner and I, Athena, we spent a week in the Faroe Islands and 4 weeks in Scotland. While I was there, I didn't take any video, I didn't do any vlogging, but I really wanted to find a way to at least show some of the images with you guys, kind of just talk about where we were, what it was like. Yeah, and in that vein, I think what I'm going to do is just basically put up some images from our trip, kind of just talk over them and explain to you just where they were, and yeah, just the conditions and just the experience. That being said, this video will be for the Faroe Islands. So the Faroe Islands are an incredible place, very unique, middle of the North Atlantic. If anyone's planning on going there, well, anywhere really, when you travel, just be sure to plan. The weather in the Faroe Islands, is very volatile. The middle of the North Atlantic, it changes instantly, and I mean instantly. So yeah, watch videos, look at maps, be prepared for all 4 seasons, rain gear, winter gear, warm weather gear, bring it all. I know packing's a pain in the butt, but it's worth having when you're out and you're going to be remote in a lot of places, not near a vehicle, definitely not near civilization, and you're not going to want to be freezing, and soaking wet. You're going to have a miserable time. So be prepared and bring all the gear that you can. That you can. Hiking around there, the terrain is quite unforgiving. Actually, there's a lot of really steep slopes. It's constantly raining, so the grasses are wet and very slippery. I'm not trying to deter anyone. I just really wanted to impart the fact that you really need to be prepared going there. It's a very wild place. I won't go into any detail, but a young lady lost her life while we were there, just on a hiking trail, the same hiking trail we were on. So the landscape demands a ton of respect. And just before you go, just read up, gain knowledge before you go is all I'm basically getting at. But also the locals. The locals were actually really great. I don't know if we just got lucky, but we had some great knowledge imparted to us from some of the locals there. Actually, some of that information turned into a hike, which turned into a photograph, which is in this video. So, we had mixed information about the locals going in, like they don't really want you there. But so much of their economy is based on tourism that most people are more than happy to give you the time of day, give you directions, and or just tell you about the amazing place that they live. Going into these images, we traveled to a lot of the iconic places in the Faroe Islands. Most of the Faroe Falls, the floating lake, Kalur Lighthouse, to name a few. But I don't have any of those images in this video, so I'm sorry to disappoint if that's what you're looking for. I just wanted to take away some images that were my own, that I really enjoyed, and that weren't the kind of rinsed, Instagram pictures that everyone sees. Now, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely worth it to go to all those places. They're iconic images for a reason. They are stunningly beautiful. So that's not an excuse. I just wanted to kind of maybe show a different side, or show the Faroe Islands through my photographic eye, instead of just the usual photographs. So that being said, I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get into the images. All right, well, this first image is actually one of the first I took in the Faroes. This was on Vagar, and it's just truly about the light here. I was shooting a waterfall kind of directly behind me when the light hit these cliffs across the fjord, and yeah, I had to abandon what I was doing and throw on the long lens. I think I'm at about 280 millimeters here. It's just an unbelievable scene. I do like the river in the center of the image, and the cliffs back right. Kind of leads you that way, just around that mountainside there, and kind of leaves you wondering what's there. But yeah, the light is the star of the show in this one, and if I do say, I think the light's the star in a lot of images that I took there. It's just constantly changing. In the middle of the North Atlantic, you get absolutely wild weather, and it changes virtually every 5 to 20 minutes. You get something completely different. So you do have to work quickly, but at the same time, you have a chance to possibly get something better, or even something different, just because the weather comes and goes so quickly there. FYI, bring every piece of gear you have, because you can need everything from toques and gloves to, all the rain gear you own. Yeah, you name it. Clothing wise, bring everything you can think of. You can definitely get all 4 seasons in a single day here. All right, on to the next one. Okay, well, this was another example of light in the Faroe Islands. I had actually framed this shot up a couple different ways when it was really cloudy and gray, and I was trying to get something, because I absolutely love this sea stack. It's not really a sea stack. I believe it's just the sea floor that's been pushed up. But it is just an incredible sight, and directly to the left of here is a famous spot called the Witch's Finger, which I do have a photograph of, and I will include in this video. But that being said, I wasn't too far away, so having kind of framed up this composition earlier in the morning, when this happened, I was able to rush back to where I was standing before and quickly frame it up and take it. And just like that, it was gone. It was a really fleeting moment, but I'm really happy I got it. You'll find, I think, with the images in this, a lot of images in this video, like I ended up taking a lot of thin panoramas. I just felt like it lended itself really well to the grand landscape of the Faroes. You're always forced in a lot of cases between a lot of sky and a lot of ocean. So I think these thin panoramas really worked well for me on this trip. I didn't have any intent of doing that. It just kind of the way it worked out, and the way I ended up cropping a lot of images in post. With that being said, we'll move on to the next one. Well, this image is all due to my partner in crime. We were told about this hike by a local, and it wasn't a far drive from where we actually stayed on Vagar. Not that anywhere is too far of a drive on the Faroe Islands, but we hiked up from the left-hand side of the frame here, and in the absolute driving rain, it was pouring, and I was ready to turn back. I don't know, multiple times, and she kicked me in the butt and forced me to the top. And when we got up here, this is what we got. The rain stopped, and the skies kind of broke briefly, and the light just painted the land like this. I barely edited this image at all. I know I brought up the foreground a bit with the rocks, but as far as the light and shadow go, is what you see is what you get there. Just stunning. I titled this image Prehistoric, just because it's so untouched, and I can just envision, you know, dinosaurs or creatures from long ago just roaming around this place. It's just so incredible. But yeah, love this one. Love to get the land in, and just the shapes, and just the wild beauty of this place. Really enjoyed taking this one. All right. Well, as I mentioned a couple of images ago, this is the witch's finger that I was shooting along with that sea rock. This is an absolutely stunning scene. Again, the light just going off for us. It was incredible. This morning started off so overcast and gray. And in no time, things started happening. So I'd framed up that sea rock, and because nothing was happening, I moved over here to frame up this the witch's finger. I've seen this image isolated by itself. You can actually shoot it from a ways back as well. I just liked, again, like the long, thin panorama, just to try and get as much of the land in as possible. I really like how the left side of this frame is quite dark and ominous, and the right side is really bright and warm. While the witch's finger itself is an amazing sea stack. The overall feeling from this is just this kind of battle between the light and the dark, and I really like that. Obviously, anytime you get sun rays, it's pretty hard to beat. Another absolute spectacular morning in the Faroe Islands. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, please click the like button. That goes a long way for YouTube. And click the subscribe button for any future videos that'll be coming up. I will say right now, I am planning on kind of a two-parter for Scotland in this kind of format. So yeah, please like and subscribe if you're enjoying it. All right, on to the next image. All right, well, some of you, if you know the Faroe Islands or you're familiar with it, this image does pop up every once in a while. The reason being is to my immediate right in this shot is the Kalur Lighthouse. So we're on Kelsoy at this point. Again, I wasn't there to take the usual shots. I really wanted to get something unique. And I will say this was unique. Like I say, I've seen this image before, but man, it was so windy up on this ridge. I shot this lying down on my stomach. It was just absolutely blowing like crazy. And the small little section to get over where you, to shoot the Kalur Lighthouse in that very famous scene was, I mean, it would have been asking for death to shimmy over that little ledge and just to get that shot. I was really zoomed in here. This is, I think I was almost at 400 millimeters. Like, this is very far away from where I actually was, but and it is kind of a little bit soft, and focusing when you've got a lot of sea spray, a lot of like moisture in the air is very, very difficult to kind of cut through that. So the image is a little soft, but I kind of like that it turned out that way. Gives it a little bit more of an ethereal feel. I do love the light rays here as well, casting on the islands, and then on the ocean, giving you like a really nice transition from dark to light in the water there. Yeah, just an absolutely unreal day. We motored, did this hike. We had to get the last ferry off of Kalsoy, so we had limited time. This day started out blowing a gale where the ferry was actually canceled going to the island, so we ended up taking the afternoon ferry because the weather calmed down a bit, but that meant that we had to get the very last ferry running off the island. So we were rushing and motored back to our car and to the ferry terminal. But yeah, this was a day I'll never forget, that's for sure. All right, last image for the video. I have a really hard time picking a favorite image from this trip, but in all honesty, this might be it. For those of you who are familiar, this is back on Vagar, and this is on the hike for the floating lake, which is I don't even know, not even a kilometer kind of behind me and around this sea cliff. There was a absolute pile of people shooting the lake. I did get a couple shots, but no real light. It was kind of an overcast day again, so I continued past that iconic spot to capture the lake and keep hiking around these cliffs, and sat here for a while, kind of framed this up, and this is what I came away with. I watched this beam of light work its way around all those cliffs, and I just waited for that for that right moment when it kind of hit that massive slab that had broken away from the main island there, and it was just tremendous. Kept up shutter speed up fairly quick just to capture that water and those waves, and it's absolutely stunning. Another image I'm really, really proud of, and just showed the perseverance to stand there in some pretty gale force winds and intermittent rain and get the shot. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the few images I've had up, and just any kind of info that you can take away for your own adventure to the Faroes would be great. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.